Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and now I'm going to cover the final holes of the Pro Division. Thanks for being patient, as I always try to get this out here on day 2, very early in the morning my time. So now we're talking about holes 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. The good news is I had a very solid back 9 on both of my accounts, so it does look like I'm moving to the final round. One of my accounts is tied for first, even with timing out and picking up a par on the last par 3, in which I was pretty angry, as you could imagine. But that's all right. Hey, I made it through, so Sunday will probably be the day that I get the rest of the pro out. All right, here we go. Heading on to the par 4 here. We're going to play at 10% at max. Going to use the Kingmaker. I'm going to go full top, lower level extra miles. Of course, you could go with more powerful balls, or you could push this drive a little bit with OP. But all in all, consistent drive here. And then we'll be taking shot number 2 for a chance to pick up a nice little eagle. But you can see here, we get down the middle of the fairway. We get nice yards on the drive, which puts us right here in going to be thorn range for the drop. 10% at mid. It's somewhere in between minimum distance and mid, but I went ahead and just played it mid straight up with a couple bars of backspin. And when you do that, you always have to make sure that you got the ball guideline going through the hole. But here, with a perfect shot, I did drop it. So that was another good start here to the video, picking up a drop. That'll take us on to the next hole. This will be hole 15, which is a par 5. We're going to play this one 10% at max. A little bit disappointed in this hole because I thought that I would have a good chance at the rough bump, but I didn't have a good replay to show on either of my accounts, as I was at maximum distance on the rough bump and had to use overpower in order to even attempt the rough bump. But you can see here the drive is very easy. All we need is that Titan ball in the tailwind. Again, if you're a pro player that doesn't mind using money balls, I think something like a power 4 ball here with good wind resistance would be nice, because then with that extra power, if you're in the same area that I am on my drive, you're going to be able to take a really nice looking rough bump. But like I said here, I really don't have much to show. Obviously, I get the eagle, but I do go full top spin with the ball guideline pointing at the hole. And here it's just a guesstimate of how much OP to use. I use about half a ball of overpower. I do hit a perfect shot. I have no fear of clipping the rough. I know I'm going to clip the rough even in the full OP, or even in the OP. But here, we just catch this downward slope and we roll down towards the back of the green. We land on the fringe, which is no biggie because we just putt in, or we just chip in for the eagle. That takes us here. This is the hole that I timed out on my other account. Very crazy. Well, I can't say that I actually timed out, but I was getting reconnected, and then when they came my shot to turn, I had to just wing it and pull as fast as I could, and I sent a flyer. So just as good as timing out, as I couldn't set my shot up, but I couldn't save it. So that's all right. Here, I'm just playing 1-to-1. I'm going with 3 bars of top spin. It's about 1.8 bars of left side spin. The top spin is a little bit too much, as we are getting tailwind. You really got to zoom in here to pull your rings. If you're good at pushing, I would definitely push in this situation. I'm not good at pushing something that's going to be 6.4. That's one part of my game I need to get better at. But here I clip the rough, no problem. You see we come in just a little bit too hot and needed a little bit of a more side spin there to get the ball back towards the pin, but we pick up the birdie. That takes us here to the next hole. In tailwind, I did try on one account to take a berserker and go over the sand. I got 7-mile-per-hour wind, and I did not make it with a perfect shot. So now I still rolled out onto the fairway. I actually had a really good opportunity to pick up the eagle on this hole with that shot, but I missed it. So now I'm just going to show the replay of the normal shot here, which would be play with a Titan because we're getting tailwind, so this is all that we need. And we come up very nicely here. Shot number 2, a little bit tricky on this hole. It always has been for me. But I do play at 20% at mid just because of how far left that I missed on my other shot. But again, this is 7.5 mile per hour wind, which is really high for pro using a Titan ball. So wind resistance 2. This might even be on the highest end of the scale with a W2 ball. But you'll see here, I do get that perfect shot, so that's nice. But barely miss this one to the left-hand side. Speed is good. I just think at the end of the day, that's a little fluky to get a 7.5 mile per hour wind. We don't typically see that too often. So, we kind of take it as it is. But I do think 20% there is going to be good for most people. I just think my wind push was a little bit too high. Takes us here to hole number 9. We finally get a good wind angle. Hole number 9, there's a couple different ways you can do this drive. No matter what club you use, it should be looking the same. I think the best 2 clubs to use is going to be your APOC. Starting at an APOC 4 would be good. Or, your rock would be good as well. Most people should have decent level rocks if you're playing in pro. So we want to do that because we need the power combined with curl to get ourselves over here to the right side of the fairway. So for me, 2 bars of side spin to the right here. You see that I only use about 5 bars of top spin. So even though I have an APOC 6, let's not get too worried about that. I left 2 bars of top spin off of this shot, so it's not like I'm really even utilizing what the APOC 6 capabilities are. That's why I say you can easily do this with lower level APOCs. Biggest thing is we have to remember to push back up to max once we make our adjustment here. Just a little bit of overpower, but this is full curl to the right-hand side. Again, mixed with a little bit of OP, but not too much. Don't go crazy with the OP because you don't want to catch this downward slope here and roll into the rough. If that happens, you'll be fine. You'll still be able to easily eagle the hole, but we're really wanting to get greedy and get this ball to drop for an albatross. It's a tough albatross. Here we go again with the wind at 8 miles an hour. That's normal with a berserker though. So here we have to go full side spin to the right combined with top spin. Now you can see here I've got my green inner ring up here around the rough line. Ball guide line going through the pin. Now the only thing about this one is I do like this shot. We're playing a very high elevated shot. The only reason we're using so much elevation for people who are not used to using the Goliath, you just have to keep in mind that your ring pulls from minimum distance to mid distance are very low. So a minimum distance shot might be 3.8 rings and a max distance shot might only be 5. So when it comes to this club, we have to add a lot of elevation to our shot if we're missing to a certain side of the pin, just because the ring pulls don't bump up that much. So that's why you see that we're playing all the way up to 40% here, and I don't even think it was enough. Here we hit the rough, we roll through. Nope, I'm sorry, it was too much. Okay, the speed is great. We missed this one by just an inch here to the left-hand side of the pin, which means my pull was a little bit too much. So we might want to reduce this one down to 35%. That's it. I will see you all, last case scenario on Pro on Sunday. Please subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up. If you'd like to donate to my channel and support my time and efforts, I always put a link to the PayPal in my comments below. Thanks, everybody.